Hi guys, welcome to Revolutionary Motion. I'm Kata.
And I'm Clemens, and today we're going to teach you guys two ways of hitting a volley drop shot effectively. So the first way of hitting a volley drop shot is pretty much the same way as hitting a normal deep volley. The only thing that you change now is you're trying to relax your wrist and let the ball drop off your racket a lot more. So it looks just like a normal volley, the motion is the same, your opponent will not be able to see what you're doing, and the ball will fly in the same direction, it will just be a lot shorter. The second way of hitting a volley drop shot, and this is probably more common when people look at highlight reels and so on, is a drop shot where you change the direction of your shot, you're playing it a lot higher up, you're giving it a lot of backspin, and you're trying to keep the ball a lot shorter. Now obviously your opponent will see that you're changing your angle in your racket a little bit. So it's a lot more difficult to win a point like this unless you play the ball a lot shorter. But because you're playing it higher up, you're giving your opponent a lot more time to reach it. So the situations in which you use this compared to the first scenario that I mentioned are a little bit different. So the volley that looks identical to a normal volley and gets short, you can use it at any point whenever your opponent hits it kind of harder at you. The volley drop shot that goes a lot higher up and has a lot more backspin is used usually when the ball is a lot lower under the net and you have to lift it anyway. Or when your opponent is very far back behind the baseline, so you give yourself a little bit more margin over the net.
Let's take a look at the technique how to hit a drop shot volley and what is the difference between a regular volley and a short volley. Let's take a look at the regular volley first. Here you go through the ball, you make sure that you keep your wrist firm and that your racket does not get pushed back by the ball. On the drop shot volley, you loosen up your wrist at the moment when you hit. You allow the ball to push your racket back to absorb the power, which will make the ball go shorter off your racket. Take a look at these shots from the backhand side. You can almost see no difference between a deep volley and a drop shot volley. As we said earlier, the only difference is that on the shorter ball, the racket absorbs and gets pushed back by the ball. Now here we have a different type of drop shot, where you hit the ball vertically up with a lot of backspin. Let's take a closer look of the technique of this drop shot. After the ready position, the racket goes more back than in a volley where we hit through the ball. The contact point is almost behind you with the racket pointing all the way up. And as you can see, the ball goes up from the racket, the body moves forward, and it kind of scoops all the way. Let's take a look at the same shot, only on the backhand side. On the take back, the body is turned completely sideways and the player is looking across his shoulder. After that, the racket drops way below the ball. You can see that the strings of the racket are pointing all the way up and that the racket at this point is below the ball. You can see that the contact point is almost behind the player and the racket face is facing completely up. The edge of the racket moves forward, which gives the ball a huge amount of backspin. And as you can see, the ball is going up off the racket. After the contact point, the racket head is moving up. Here are some of those volleys in real time. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this tip about the drop shot volleys. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.